Okay guys, I am key easing this grand and I'm doing this video extra for you so you can see. I am really having to squeeze on these pretty hard to do it. So let me show you the scenario. I have a tight key. So basically on this grand action, I'm showing you how to remove the stack. That's what this is mostly about. I'm gonna remove the stack, so I've unscrewed all of the screws on this stack, and I'm going to show you how to take the stack off and ease the keys. These have been tight for a long time, so once you get all the screws off, you should just be able to lift this up, just like this. The whole thing comes off straight up, and I'm going to sit it over on the ground. Now I left all the screws in there, and my key that's in question was a B flat 6. So I'm going to pull it off. I'll show you my two easing tools. This is my first easing tool, and this is my key easing pliers. So I'm going to ease the pliers, and this mostly just show you, I'm just going to quickly ease the front. And I'm not really sure this is exactly why the key is sticking, but this is pretty sure. I am going to ease the top of the key as well with these. And I kind of did this before and it didn't help a lot. So I'm going to show you the balance rail hole. Now this is just a few ways to do it. A lot of people say you have to, it's this little tool right here, so you have to go in from the top and you go through there and you just sort of turn this once a little bit, just push it. If you really want to do it, you can go in this way. Now they say not to do this, and I see why they say that, sort of, but if you want, sometimes that's the only way to do it. You stick it in the hole a little bit and you just turn it one time and you stick it back on and it would be eased, okay? Now it still is tight, and I'm trying to figure out why it's so tight. So I'm going to ease from the bottom this time. And I'm troubleshooting this as I'm doing this video with you. It just seems like the key is slow. So if you push on the back of a key, and this key just drops straight down. There's no friction. You get to this B flat, and I'm pushing, and there's all this friction. It just moves really slow. So you can kind of tell, even with the stack off, where the friction should be, what it should be. So I'm going to ease that hole again. Just go a little at a time. Not sure. I'm going to lubricate this pin next and see if that's part of it. But these just seem like these front bushings are really, I think they're new. And so maybe I just have to be really aggressive in easing this front bushing, because it doesn't seem like whatever matter I do, it just seems like it stays. Also, you can remove several keys on either side. You can kind of get a feel for what. And so basically that's what I would do. And this one's not quite eased yet, so I'm gonna have to keep easing a little bit at a time until I remove what is the friction in this key. Still stumping me. I think this cloth on the front rail is very tight, and it's new, and it just doesn't seem like maybe it was done well. I don't know. Just very tight. So you got to be careful when you're easing these. You don't want to ease them too much. See, now that worked it out. That seems to work it out. So what I'm talking about is I'm pushing on this key and see it drop straight down. No friction. Now this one, still a little bit of friction. So I've narrowed it down to this front bushing. So you can see, like on this one, it won't even go back down. You have to push it back down. You know, once you get that one up, it just goes, it's so much friction. So in that, I'm gonna take this off. You're going to ease that front bushing on both sides pretty aggressively on this piano. I just finished this one. See, this one is dropping just the way it should. And that, you can see when you're going around, when you're trying to find out the friction, that one drops just fine. But then this one, let's see, this one right here doesn't drop at all. You push on it and it just doesn't want to go anywhere. You have to, you know, it's so tight. So I'm gonna show you how I ease that right now. And these, I've already done test on this. You always start soft on the easing, but this one I'm kind of really pushing. So I just get right in the, you find a sweet spot and just kind of push. And I can actually hear, I had to hear the actual wood smushing on these, and I kind of cram it in pretty far. These are just really, these bushings are really tight and they're really fat. So put this back in and I'll check it and then I'll show you. There, so this, perfect. That is the key I just did. And notice it wasn't moving, it wasn't going back down at all. Now it's going back down just fine, just like the neighbors. See that neighboring one? It's kind of soft. It doesn't want to, it just kind of goes slow like that. So I'll ease that one up here too. This one right here. So you find out which one's doing it. Take a key easing plier. You can see that's been rebushed. Stick it in there. I kind of stick it in just a little bit, push in a few different ways, and you can hear it go a little. You got to be careful not to push too hard on here, and that's why I made this video. You can hear it like you could crack it. Now for that example I just did, you can see it's dropping freely. That's what it looks like when it's got friction. Push down, let go. See, it's barely going slow. The neighbor is going up and down. And that's what you want. And that's how you do key easing. While I'm doing this video, I'll show you the other thing you can do is you can ease this balance rail. Now on this piano, I've pretty much figured out that it is the front rail bushing. So I don't have to ease everything, but when you're doing your troubleshooting, you're kind of ease this a little bit, put it back, ease the center balance rail. You can even ease with this tool the hole, the balance pin hole. Sometimes that's the friction. Once you find it, like on this piano, I pretty much found it. And now that I found it, I can just go through, and there's about 8 of these that I'm going to ease out, put it back in, and it won't be sticking anymore. And then you can put your stack back on. Just put your stack back on. The stack's laying right here. You just pick it up, you stick it right back on there, and you screw on the stack. When you're going back in, you like do diagonal. So you do this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, that screw, and then go back the other way. So you don't just tighten them up from here back. So that's basically it. Here's my up close easing tool. When you're easing out the balance pin hole, and this is removing the friction off these. This piano has just a lot of friction, and I think I've pretty much figured it out. So if you have any questions, let me know.